Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr. It's time for the Monday morning podcast for Monday, July 7th, 2025. What's going on? How are ya? How's it going? Geez. Oh, Billy Broadway turned back into a pumpkin. He's out here in L.A. and he's ready to go to London. I got to do a benefit out there, and then I'm on my way to Abu Dhabi, and then I got a show in Milan, Italy. And then I have days off. Then I am done. So this is the last. Look at the size of that fucking door. I'm sitting out here in my neighborhood. I never noticed how big my fucking neighbor's door is. Jesus Christ, Shaquille O'Neal could walk through that door and not even duck. That is, why would you have such a big fucking door? That's just weird. Anyway, plowing ahead here. Mr. Crowley winning it. You guys see that Jack Black video with those kiddos? He redid the whole, what was it, in Texas, that little public access show that Ozzy did with Randy Rhoads, Rudy Sazzo, and Tommy Aldridge, I believe, was the band back in the day. He did they basically recreated the whole set, the whole costumes and everything. Anyway, plowing ahead. I'm glad I got to see Sabbath. I saw them in 2000 when they had a reunion with all the original guys. And I don't know, that looked amazing. And it was also, like, sad, you know? Just fucking, everybody's just old now. You know? And then, like, these fucking nerds have taken over people who can't even play instruments with computers are inventing bands that don't exist, writing songs. And then they have bots listen to them, so then they get like 500,000 views, and then people think, oh, this is like a real band. And it isn't. Like, what fucking world are we living in here? It's unbelievable. These fucking people, like, they cannot make enough money. It wasn't enough to be screwing musicians the way that they have, unapologetically, just fucking them over. The entire existence of the music business. They've done nothing but just absolutely bend over and fuck musicians. And that still isn't enough. It still isn't enough. Now they're just gonna now they're the band, they're writing music. Or whatever they're doing. Like, how do you write music on you're like, this is like fucking Fleetwood Mac meets Funkadelic with just a dash of Bryan Adams. And then they just put it in the thing and it spits it out, and then they kind of like, you know, bite their bottom lip, make that face as they listen to it, and they put it out there. And then fucking people, you know, the same people that are walking around 200 pounds overweight, wearing Crocs and workout clothes, they're just going to buy it. They're going to download it. They're going to listen to it. And they're going to be like, what? You know, there's an art in this also. I don't know, which maybe there is. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. It's just a strange world. But what does this all come back to? It comes back to illegal immigrants. This whole idea that Americans have, the working man, that when they get all the illegal immigrants out of this fucking country, that these fucking cunts that you work for are actually going to start paying you a fair wage. I don't know what fucking world you've been watching, what world you've been working for. These fucking cunts at the top have never wanted to pay anybody, ever, at any point since the Industrial Revolution. They have not wanted to pay anybody anything. If they could have you come to work fucking, you know, I don't know what, wearing nothing but fucking tighty whities and just fucking look like a fucking homeless person. And they would be totally comfortable with you being filthy. They don't give a shit. not pay you anything, teeth falling out of your fucking head. They could go to bed at night and be like, what? That's how business is done. If I didn't do it, somebody else would do it. They're complete fucking pieces of shit. And you know what I love about it is, they've always been looking at all these aggressive aggro guys, as they call them, type A, blah, 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 blah. And you know what I love is the world is being ruined by beta nerds who couldn't fight their way out of a fucking wet paper bag. The harmless nerd, never picked in gym class and all of that, and they just were misunderstood and all. And just because, they didn't get to be the prom king and date the fucking cheerleader and all that, Hollywood built this whole fucking backstory about nerds that everybody believed that they were these nice people. And it turns out they're just like fucking athletes. Some of them are nice, some of them are not. Some of them are fucking heartless monsters. Just straight across the board. And who made these people? God. And don't forget, God loves you. God, he makes the ocean so blue and the fucking prairies and the butterflies. And you know what else he makes? Heartless fucking nerds. He makes them all. He didn't make that heartless nerd. The nerd, he chose the devil. Oh, is that what happened? Anyway, yeah, I'm getting ready to go out on the road here. I got all caught up with my MotoGP watching there. Scary crash, Alex Marquez. He was just side by side with Pedro Acosta, and they just got into it. Rubbing his racing. They got into it, and somehow, leaning into Pedro Acosta, he fucking squeezed the dude's front brake with his fucking left kidney or some shit. It wasn't even on purpose. And Mark's front tire was up off the ground, so he slowed the front wheel down. It was going slow. It's going slower than the back wheel. I don't know. I don't get the physics of that. But the tire came down and blue smoke came up like he just landed an airplane. And he immediately just slammed down on the ground. I'm surprised he didn't get knocked out. A lot of times they wipe out in a turn, so they're kind of leaning already. They're slowing down. They're not on more of a straightaway. He was coming into a turn. So he had a lot of speed, and he right there, Fred. He just went right the fuck down. I guess he broke his hand, I think. Kind of a scary crash. But here's something I don't understand. If anybody could explain this to me, is why Pecco Bagnaia cannot keep up with Marc Marquez. They're on the same team. They're riding the same fucking bike. He can't even keep up with Alex, who's not riding a factory Ducati. And this guy has won the championship multiple fucking times. What is that? I don't understand what's going on. Because he always seems to start the race off super aggressive, like I'm not fucking around. Here we go. And then that's it. Then he just, I don't know, after fucking 7, 8 turns, somebody passes him. Then he's in second, then he's in third, and then he's fighting for fourth and fifth. I don't understand it. Do they only make one good bike a week? I'll tell you the person that I've been really enjoying the way he's been racing this year is Fabio Di Gianantonio. What the fucking longest name ever. DG. Whatever the hell they call him. Also riding a Ducati. And I don't know, wherever he starts, he always seems to get up to at least third place or something. I think he's riding great. And I don't know. I still don't understand why they're all riding Ducatis, but the factory one is the best one. All right. Well, maybe because you don't understand the sport. Well, maybe that's what it is. Speaking of not understanding a sport, let's talk about fucking banana ball. I watched that for about 2 seconds. My daughter's totally into Pokemon now, and we're going to card stores and we're going to events. Speaking of nerds, good nerds. I went to an event yesterday, and one of the people running it was teaching me how to play the Pokemon game, which if someone told me that's just as difficult as learning how to play bridge, I would not argue with them. I mean, it was just like, all right, this is going to be a good dad thing. I'm going to learn how to play this game, and then I can play it with my daughter and, be something else that we can do together. And he got about 5 minutes into this stuff, and I was like, I'm not going to remember any of this. Like, you fucking make like 6 piles of 10 cards, and then you shuffle them up, and then you fucking set them aside, you deal out some other ones, and then you flip it out, and in the upper right-hand corner, if it says basic, you can play that, but you can't attack on the first time. It's like, you got to look at the card and read what the fuck the card does, and I didn't bring my glasses. And it was a shit show. I was just like, that was back in the day where there was like classes that I knew from day one that I wasn't going to pass. And that was it. I was just like, I'm not putting effort in on this. This is like so foreign to me. There's just no fucking way I'm passing this class. And then I would just screw around and have a good time and just take the fucking F. The E, they used to give us E's, A, B, C, D, and an E. They wouldn't go to F for some reason. It's very linear at my school. So I just ended up going to summer school just for like math though. Other things that I flunked, like for some reason colleges didn't give a shit, but they were really big on math. Anyway, so we went to these Pokemon events, and at one of them, they had that banana ball playing in the background. And it was packed. It was at Fenway Park. I don't know if they did it during the seventh inning stretch, if it's an actual game. There was like a clock counting it down. I have no idea what was going on, but it was like people like catching the ball behind their back, a lot of pelvic pumping, a lot of fucking of the baseball field itself, simulated fucking. There was some sort of thing in the end where it was like they were in the Thriller video and they all did like a synchronized dance. It's like, I get this shit. This is baseball for people who don't like baseball. All the years I've been watching baseball, I never thought, what would be great is if fucking George Brett just started fucking the third base bag. Just got on, almost did like a yoga sort of cobra position and then just started fucking jumping up and down, fucking the bag. I mean, that to me would really add to the game. Because it's like, I like the game, but there's not enough pelvic pumping in it. I don't know. We'll see anything that gets people to watch baseball, I guess, if that's the version of it. Banana ball. So a guy hit a routine fly ball to left field, and the guy tried to catch it behind his back, and then he dropped it. And he didn't get taken out of the game. And I went like, oh, I see what this is. I get what this is. This is for like... There's always people that like you're in a sports bar and they're watching the game and then they just come up with something like, dude, you should just be able to fucking, why don't they just blah, 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 blah. And it's always the stupidest fucking idea. I don't know. I have my ideas about how to improve games. But banana ball, it's like the Harlem Globetrotters, the ABA or whatever. This is the thing though. What's funny is if banana ball gets popular enough, like I said, it looked like they were playing at Fenway, and it looked like it was sold out to me. Now, if that gets popular enough, then what happens is the MLB first dismisses the league, then they make fun of it, and then they eventually absorb it. And then that's going to be the new baseball. They would never do that. Baseball's too stuck up to bring something like that along. I don't know what it is. I don't know why at some point somebody always has to like simulate fucking to add like a new level of excitement to something. You know what I mean? It's like you go to see a band. What's the lead singer doing? What would he do back in the day? He'd start pelvic pumping and acting like, he was fucking something that you couldn't see, right? You always you catch a touchdown pass, you fucking, you're slapping that ass and fucking, just that's the default. We need to improve. We need to add a level of excitement to this thing. It's not the people that are watching don't need to level up and try to maybe learn about the game. No, what we need to do is bring somebody in here to start fucking the ground. What did you think about it? I liked it. It was a lot more. There was exciting. It was fun. Players were isn't it enough now? Anytime anybody hits a double and they get on second base, they have to do like fucking 58 signals. To the dugout, the pointing, the fucking binoculars up to the eyes, the brushing off of the shoulder. We get it. You got a double. and the people in the dugout on your team are happy that you're in scoring position. I understand it. Don't make the first to third out at third base. I get it. Anyway, I'll have to watch a little. Sorry, cut myself off there. I was saying I'll have to watch a little bit more of it. I like the baseball aspect of it. Like there's people that are playing the game that actually played in MLB, so it's like a quality level of baseball. I don't understand why everyone on the field has to start acting like the Philly freak. It's like, what if all the players started acting like a fucking mascot? I got a good idea. How about, like, instead of walking up to the plate, that's boring, right? Why don't you give them a four-wheeler and they fucking ride out of the fucking bullpen? The baseball players, the batter rides out, does a couple of donuts around the pitcher, talking shit, wiggles his ass at him, and then he fucking goes up. There you go, huh? That would add some excitement to the game. Mr. Crowley, wham, wham, wham. Anyway, a lot of crying at the fucking Sabbath show. A lot of fucking crying. I don't want to be a dick, but I want to say I saw their farewell tour like 20 years ago. I always wondered about that when bands do that shit. I know this is a fucking old subject, but there's like bands out there that are like, no, dude, we're not fucking around. We are as serious as a fucking heart attack. This is it. We are not coming back. And then like 2 summers later, they're coming back. There's some bands out there that like, and some artists, I swear to God, like they have been doing, like they've been on a farewell tour for like 4 fucking years. You know what that reminds me of? A long time ago, there was a comedian that had a major fucking drug problem. And he got kicked out of all the clubs. So after a year of not working, he's fucking flat broke or whatever. He's on the street. So he started calling the comedy clubs up. And he told them that he had got diagnosed with some sort of terminal cancer. So everybody felt bad for him, so they started giving him weekends. And he would stay and he would do drugs in the comedy condo and he would sell the TV for fucking heroin and all of that shit, right? But they put up with it because they knew that he was dying or whatever, for whatever reason or whatever. He had all these fucking weekends. So about a year and a half into this bullshit, people start noticing that he doesn't look sick other than being a fucking drug addict, and they realize that he just made the whole fucking thing up. He made the whole thing up, that he was going to get treatment and all of this shit. He was acting glum and all of that, and he was just lying his fucking ass off. It's kind of amazing, Some of the people like out there, like when you see like the shit that they come up with illegally, you just want to be like, dude, what if you put that same amount of energy towards something legal? Like, there's no way you wouldn't be successful. Some people I just feel like to do illegal shit. I don't know what it is. Like, some of the stuff that they do, it's like, well, why? There was no fucking reason to do that. You're going to get caught. Or my favorite thing, it's like they could have afforded whatever they stole. There was no excitement in it. You know what I mean? It's like they needed to add a little banana ball to going in and buying a shirt. I could go in and buy this shirt, fucking not have to walk out of here sweating bullets, or I could fucking stuff it down the front of my pants, bring 2 shirts in, see if nobody noticed, put the other one back, and then try to fucking walk out with it. What do they call those people? Thrill shoppers? Anyway, my wife was watching the murder shows last night before we went to bed. Jesus fucking Christ. So all I do is just make jokes the entire time. And, because I don't want to go to bed with that shit on my mind. It's really fucking bizarre. And she had like a friend of hers was over, and they were both watching. I came downstairs and they were both watching the show. It was like it was a quadruple murder. You know what's funny? When people in pickup trucks that actually work for a living drive by me in my pickup truck, I see it in their eyes going like, you're not doing any work in that truck. You just got a pickup truck. You're not fooling anybody. So anyways, they're watching these fucking murder shows. And it's like, I don't know. She claims that the reason why she watches them because she wants to like think like, what would I do if I was ever in that situation? So what am I going to do? I guess she's strategizing. I have no idea. And then it's also like what part of the equation are you in? Are you the victim or are you the person plotting the murder? Anyway, that's a dark subject. So, Billy Boy's going to England first, and lo and behold, guess what's happening while I'm there? Wimbledon. I used to watch Breakfast at Wimbledon every year with Dick Enberg, and I watched it every single year, and they had Wimbledon written on the screen, and it wasn't until I was about 45 years old that I didn't realize it was Wimbledon. I thought it was Wimbledon, T-O-N. Did you watch Wimbledon? So I used to say Wimbledon. It's Wimbledon. So I'm going there. I got hooked up with some tickets. Hopefully, center court. I mean, this is one of the most iconic sports arenas in the fucking world. This is the thing, when Madison Square Garden goes, the most famous arena in the world, it's like you gave yourselves that fucking nickname. All right? Way more legendary shit has happened at center court, Wimbledon. I guess it's not an arena, so that's how Madison Square Garden gets around it. But I've never understood why. I guess because of the music. Like Frank Sinatra had his comeback there. Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier there. But that was like 50 fucking years ago. You know, and 10 years before that, like that arena didn't even exist. And Frank Sinatra was in the original one at the end of the Manchurian Candidate. Right? And that one was up in the West 40s. So I don't fucking get it. I don't understand. There's been one Stanley Cup, 2 NBA titles, Frank Sinatra's comeback, Led Zeppelin, the song remains the same. I mean, this shit is all from the 70s and 1994 from the Rangers. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I just think it's some typical New York shit where they're just saying that everything is amazing where they're at. And then Alicia Keys starts going, New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, right? And they just all sit there fucking jerking each other off. And it's like, I really don't think it's... I think it's like, as far as like a comedian or a rock star playing Madison Square Garden, yeah, I would, in the United States, yeah, I would say that's the biggest one. That would be the biggest one. trying to think of other. Yeah, that's the biggest. I'll give you that. That's the biggest one. Biggest one in the world? World's a big place there, New York. I bet there's some fucking arenas. Or maybe that's what it is. What they mean is everybody knows it. It's not the accomplishment. It's just everybody knows it. Maybe that's what it is. Once again, it's a fucking technicality. Okay, I'll give it to you. All right, couple of sad ones here. Michael Madsen, rest in peace. Arguably the coolest actor of his generation. Just a man's man, fucking old school fucking actor. Back when actors were men, And also the coolest fucking Reservoir Dog, Mr. Blonde, the Kill Bill movies, and I don't know. He was just so goddamn good and believable. And then also he picked great projects, and I always felt like if he was in it, I knew it was, at the very least, he was in it, so that aspect of it was going to be good. That's a fun list to make. Actors that are great even in bad projects where it doesn't come together, the story wasn't there, the editing, somebody took it over or just fucked the whole thing up, but they're still good. Like the stink of a bad movie. They're so good, the stink of a bad movie never even gets on them. But anyway, I was a huge fan of his. Sad to see him go. Definitely gonna might watch Reservoir Dogs on the plane. And then former legend, Boston Bruin, Lyndon Byers, one of the great enforcers the Bruins ever had. In my favorite era of the Bruins, the 1980s, when I was coming up, him and Jay Miller, the two of them, we used to go up against Nyland and John Cordick on the Canadians. Like, that's how tough the Adams division was. You didn't just have one enforcer. You had to have two guys to somehow make it through, the season and get yourself to the playoffs. And I used to go into WAAF post Lyndon Byers' career, and he just was the nicest. I remember shaking his hand. He had a fucking hand like a goddamn bear paw. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't imagine getting punched in the face by this fucking guy. And of course, he was the nicest guy ever. And, when we would be like in between, they'd be playing a song or some shit and I wasn't hyping my stupid stand-up gig, I would just start asking him questions about like fucking some of the goddamn lunatics that played in the Adams division. Dale Hunter, Chris Nyland, John Cordick, all of those fucking guys. All of that stuff. And he was just like, he told me this fucking... Was it him? Oh, I think it was him. He told me a story of some guy that he used to fight and he could never fucking beat him. He could never fucking beat him. And then he just got so frustrated. One time he just took the butt of his stick, or maybe it happened to him, I can't remember, it was so long ago, right in the fucking mouth, knocked out some teeth, and then they fought, and then they went down to the ice, and when the refs were pulling him off, he did it to the other guy. And the other guy, I want to say it was somebody on the Kings, he just looked at Lyndon, he just, with like busted teeth, just goes, now why would you do that? And he's like, I don't know, man, you always beat me, and I just got frustrated. This is the level of tough that those guys were. Could take a goddamn club to the mouth and 2 seconds later actually have a casual conversation about it. And he had a million of those stories, and he was only too happy to share the stories with you. And like, the last time I saw him was at Comics Come Home, and they just brought out all these legends of of the Boston Bruins history, and I just saw all of these guys like Ray Bork, Rick Middleton, Lyndon Byers. It was like literally I was watching TV 38, WSBK, way back in the day with Fred Cusick. And I remember he had just had back surgery, so he had a walker and everything. And it was really difficult for him to get up on stage, but he still was just bringing the vibes, He was totally, upbeat and cool and making jokes and everything. And, it's the last time I saw him. So, I hope you feel better and blah, 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 and all of that. But anyway, rest in peace to not only one of the great Bruins of all time, but just a really, really great person, Lyndon Byers. All right, that sucks. Okay, let me do the fucking reads here for the week. All right, who do we got? Zip. Oh, it's old Zip Recruiter. Finding great candidates to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You get too many resumes and not enough candidates with the right skills or experience. But with ZipRecruiter finds amazing candidates for you fast. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. ZipRecruiter's smart technology identifies top talent for your roles quickly. Immediately after posting your job on Zip, powerful matching technology starts showing you qualified people for it. Zip lets you connect with top candidates as soon as possible. You can use ZipRecruiter's pre-written invite to apply message to personally reach out to your favorite candidates and encourage them to apply sooner. Ditch the other hiring sites and let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for, the needle in the haystack. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. All right, look who it is, everybody. It's Lucid. Lucyd. Do you know, I, for the longest time, thought lucid meant somebody was, like, out of it. I didn't know that it meant you were thinking clearly. And I used that word incorrectly for 10 years, and no one ever corrected me. I know they were all confused, but no one ever stopped and said, hey, Bill, you got to learn the definition of that word, or you got to stop saying it. One of these, something's got to give. All right, Lucid, Lucyd. Are you getting a neck hump from staring at your phone all day? Yeah, stop doing that. Get yourself a pair of Lucid smart glasses. Lucid glasses pair to your phone with Bluetooth so you can listen to music, take calls, and do what you want to do on your phone totally hands-free. It's super convenient and just like headphones and glasses in one. Oh, just like headphones and glasses in one. The open ear audio is safer than regular earbuds that cut you off from the world, so you can still hear everything and everyone around you. It's so much better than plugging your ears while running, cycling, or just walking around, and no more lost earbuds. Maybe no more tinnitus either. Tetanus, however you're supposed to say it. They come in a lot of different styles and sizes, and you can order them in any prescription from lucid.co. lucyd.co. That's it's Lucy DCO. LUCYD period CO, not period. LUCYD.co. Fuck, Bill. Sorry, guys. They have regular optical styles, sunglasses, smart safety glasses, and even a new sporty collab with Reebok for the gym rats. Hey, assholes, don't be fucking watching these while you're driving your car. Lucid is committed for doing good. They pay a $20 minimum wage. All full-time staff are shareholders of the company. All shipments are carbon neutral and use recycled packaging. There we go. Lucid also has donated over 4,000 pairs of glasses to needy folks across South Florida because good vision should be a human right. So, if you're ready to upgrade your eyewear and not with some billionaires, but with an independent company that actually wants to make your life easier. Head to lucid.co, lucyd.co, and use code Burr, Burr, for 20% off, and start listening to this podcast on your glasses. How cool is that? All right, and one last thing I have to mention. I don't know if you guys have been watching those flash floods in Texas. That has got to be the most heartbreaking thing I have seen as far as natural disasters, not as far as ice ripping children out of people's arms. I would say, just there's like 22 kids from a camp that are unaccounted for. So as comedians, we always do benefits whenever things like this happen, and I don't know when or where, but I'm definitely going to try to do something to help, I don't know, rebuild or whatever. I have no idea how to help in this situation. I just hope somehow, as many of those people that are missing, they find them downriver or some shit. They were able to cling on to something, but that is just fucking terrifying. Anyway. Ugh, God damn it. All right, sorry. A lot of tragedy this week. But anyway, I know comedians, we always step up. We always do benefits, and this will be no different. So just have to figure out, and then you got to figure out the right people to give the money to, because there's fucking scumbags when shit like this happens. They start something and they keep like 95% of the profits for administration fees. Guess how I learned that one? All right, here we go. Shirtless Bill Ward. Hey, Bill, did you watch any of the footage from Sabbath's last show event? The lineups are really good. All I heard was it was fucking incredible. That's all I heard. And it was a bunch of like the most hardcore Sabbath fans ever losing their minds, crying and all of that. Like, crying was totally acceptable, because that's all I saw was people crying. Which is fucking great, though, that people got to say goodbye, and like really how much people love Sabbath, what they meant to so many musicians, and then also how much everybody fucking loves Ozzy, and watching him, where he is right now in his life. It's, it's sad, but God knows, nobody had more fun than that guy. All right, the lineups are really good, and I think they did a great job of honoring the band. The highlight for me was seeing a 76-year-old shirtless Bill Ward sludge his way through 50-year-old songs. I don't hear you talk about Sabbath too much, but assuming you're a fan, were you into Ozzy's solo stuff during your hair band heyday? Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I was afraid of that shit. Like, I was more like, it took me a minute. Like, Ozzy was he was in a crazy period. Like, I don't know, because that was back then where, like, I was young. I was like 12 or 13 when that shit came out. And it was kind of like, wait, are these guys really into the devil? Am I going to listen to this fucking album and something bad? It was part of the thrill of listening to it. It's all ridiculous now, but like, there was a lot of, parents were disturbed by it. And that Bark at the Moon cover, it's kind of funny to look at now, but it was disturbing back in the day. And I was, when I finally got into Ozzy, it was actually the Ultimate Sin album. And then I went backward. And then I got into Bark at the Moon and all of that, the Randy Rhoads stuff. What did he play on that one? I know he made I always get confused with that. I was more like AC/DC, but I did love Ozzy, and I did love Sabbath. But for whatever reason, the bigger kids in my neighborhood were more into like AC/DC and Van Halen. So I discovered a lot of Black Sabbath and Ozzy stuff through Jim Norton and Jim Florentine, the two Jersey Jims. Bro, like Jim Florentine, Electric Funeral. I mean, you kidding me? It's unbelievable. So I was like, all right. So they used to tell me about that. And then I got like a number of times I've gotten really into Randy Rhoads. And then I go on YouTube and I try to like play along to songs. And it's just like the stretching I have to do between the index and pinky finger. I get really frustrated. And I immediately go back to Malcolm Young, you know, 3-chord riffs. But I am I don't know. I am a huge fan of all of that, but like as far as like them being my go-to and always listening to them, I for some reason I just never did. But then when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, this is fucking unreal. It's unreal music, but I just don't. I don't know why. I always end up going back. I was like AC/DC, Aerosmith, Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was sort of like music that I listened to and it never left me. And then I got into Zeppelin, and then I got into Bonham, and that was it. I also was listening to like, Blues Brothers album got me into Steve Jordan, which got me into Eddie Murphy got me into James Brown. The Eddie Murphy Delirious special. I remember talking to Charlie, rest his soul, Charlie Murphy, and I told him, I was like, you know, I had no idea who James Brown was until your brother did that special. And he could not believe that. He was like, you go, man, fuck you, Bill. You knew who James Brown was. You knew who the fuck James Brown was. I go, dude, I didn't. I knew that song, I Feel Good, but I didn't know. And he just couldn't understand that I had no idea who James Brown was until then. And I was like, dude, no, I grew up in a fucking like ridiculously white family. Like we used to watch, my parents would watch the Lawrence Welk show every Sunday, which if you want to see like just disturbingly white, like it's so white, it's like, it gets to be like, am I in a cult right now? Is there something, am I being poisoned? I feel like I've been here for 6 hours. Have I been here for 6 years? Like, what is going on? That is the vibe of that show. And yeah, like, I wanted to get some music. My mother bought me Sing Along with Mitch Miller and the Gang. I had that Lawrence Welk album, Winchester Cathedral. I mean, it was a long, long march just to get to fucking Van Halen. Out of the way out. My dad had records of like barbershop quartets. Like if some hipster ever looked at my dad's record collection, they would pay fucking tens of thousands of dollars for it. So that's where I was coming from. So me just to make it to Van Halen and AC/DC, and that was just the kids I was at school, you know, with. And I feel like Sabbath and Ozzy was for like the really like hardcore burnout kids with the fucking jean jackets, and they were doing drugs by like 6th or 7th grade. So I think like that whole world, Ozzy and Sabbath got lumped into all of that. And I just knew that those kids were going down a road I didn't want to go down. And I was more like into sports. So I think after getting into Van Halen and AC/DC and all that, instead of making a left into Ozzy and Sabbath, I went right into like fucking, you know, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Cinderella, Tesla. I was doing that. And, I even missed out on Metallica and Slayer and all of that shit, which I now love. But like, I missed out on a lot of shit. I was more a sports person growing up. So that's why I can talk in depth about like anything 80s sports related. Because that was mainly what I was doing. So yeah, I didn't, I'm not going to sit here now that they just retired and act like I was. I mean, I know how important they are and I know how amazing they are, but like those formative years, So you always go back to that music. They were not on my playlist until, like I said, when I met Florentine and Jim Norton. They're the ones that got me into it. Which, by the way, I was really excited that I saw some clips online that they made it over there. And they actually took a picture in front of some English farmhouse that was the cover of one of their albums. I think it was the album. There was one album that Norton told me to get, and it actually fucking scared me when I listened to it. That one where Ozzy's going to hell, and he's going, "Oh no, God, please help me." It was just like, what is this something? Oh my God, it was just like, what the fuck? All the years of going to church and the priest tried to scare me about being on the straight and narrow. What they should have done instead of giving a homily is play whatever that fucking song was, because that song really freaked me out. But I will tell you, over the years, one of my favorite Sabbath performance, I believe that they are in Paris or something like that. Speaking of Bill Ward, and they're playing live and they sound unbelievable. And Bill Ward is absolutely beating the shit out of his drum kit. He's just beating the shit out of it. He's not even playing the drums. It was like he was trying to break or destroy the kit. It's one of the hardest I've ever seen anybody go in I don't know, live playing drums. Oh, and then I also, because of my dad's big band Swing Records, I actually got into like Miles Davis and Tony Williams, and I was taking drum lessons from this guy who was like in his 70s, who actually played in big bands. Frank Shushan, the last of the great Armenian trap drummers. Shout out to him. Rest his soul. I'm assuming he's passed away. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he would be well into his hundreds. You know, I used to go down to this place, the Regatta Bar in Boston, and I saw Tony Williams, I saw Louis Belson, Roy Haynes, I saw all the Max Roach, I saw him at Berkeley. I was doing that, so I kind of missed out. So, but anyway, I'm happy for all the Sabbath fans that got to watch that and send them off the right way. All right, insight from a tech bro. Hey, Billy, yet to be bilingual. Long-time listener of the podcast. I heard about you shitting on the tech bros for a while now, and it breaks my heart because I am one of them and a huge fan of you. I think you are actually mad at is... I think you're supposed to say what? I think what you're actually mad at is the soulless corporate suits that ruin everything for everybody, including tech bros like me. Your average tech bro is just another cog in the machine most software developers are. Oh, are you doing the Nazi guard tower thing now where you're saying you're just following orders? Well, here's the thing. You know what you're doing, and you know how many people you're putting out of work, and you also know that this fucking asshole is going to keep all his money so he can have a fucking wedding and rent out the entire city of Venice. Like, what the like that disgusting display of wealth while so many people in this country are struggling. Like, how could you fucking do that? Just to get married. The whole fucking city has to shut down. I swear to God, these billionaire tech nerds, that, you know, they didn't get to be prom king, and it fucking bugs them, and years later they rent out a fucking city. Anyway, it says, I didn't write this email to bitch and moan. I wanted to actually say, as someone from the inside, that you're more spot on with your assumptions about corporate greed than you think. Please keep reading further. I'm not reading. I don't need to fucking read. Oh, you mean read this thing? I thought you meant I was like doing research on whether these greedy cunts were greedy or not. Listen, I get it. You need a job. You have to go towards your skill, but like, you got to put a value on your skill. There's nothing stopping you from starting an actual like company that pays its employees, doesn't try to just like, I don't know, like all of these fucking tech people, they want to go into these industries that are employing tens of thousands of people and reduce it to like 4 employees in just their business. You know, the business is shrinking. Yeah, into your pocket, you piece of shit. Here we go. I'm a software developer working in a company that provides customer loyalty solutions software as a service. I have no idea what any of that means. You provide customer loyalty solutions software as a service? Customer loyalty, I know what that is. I'm a Ford guy. I buy Ford. Solution software. Customer loyalty solutions software. Okay, because that's corporate speak for we rent out our software for airlines and corporate retailers so they can provide loyalty points and rewards to their customers for their purchases. All right, so it has nothing to do with the customers. It has to do with the people trying to make money off the customers. All right. I primarily handle airlines, so I got to know quite a bit about how airline miles work and the strategies these airlines use to cheat you out of your miles. Yeah, absolutely. So and then you call it customer loyalty solutions. What is the solution? To not give them what they've earned? I get it, man. You're just a cog in a wheel. Many of our airline clients want new features from our software that allow them to reduce the amount of miles they actually have to take the hit for when the customer uses them. I got to read that again. Many of our airline clients want new features from our software that allow them to reduce the amount of miles they actually have to take the hit for when customers use them. As such, when my team lead/business manager came to me for ideas for new features, I was suggesting him features that helped out the customers, like allowing the customers to extend their miles EXPIRY, by paying a small fee. But he told me the clients wouldn't go for it. In his own words, the clients wanted features that would make the customers spend their earned miles on trivial things that should cost them as minimal as possible. I was surprised to hear that. Well, you must be a young person because this is how business is done for these fucking cunts. The entire point of the customer loyalty points is to maintain loyalty, but this seems to me like doing the complete opposite. Yes, the things that my lead actually told me could have good client potential are gambling systems that allow the customers to gamble with their miles for a chance at a higher prize. Like bet X amount of miles, and if you win, you get twice that. You get the point. He said, I asked him if the airlines wanted customer loyalty, doesn't them trying to actively steal the customers' miles actually push the customers away rather than keep them loyal? He told me he understood my perspective, but they are that short-sighted. What can we do? We're just the guys that make the software. See, everybody's washing their hands of it. Anyway, much love from India. Next time when you come over here, please don't stop at Mumbai, but also come to the south of India, especially, I'm going to mess this up, Chennai, Chenai. I would love to see you live. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. Yeah, well, it would be nice if you software people be like, we're not going to make that for you. Or if we do, the software is going to be called the loyal customer out of their miles software. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of dirty things that happen in my business. I don't participate in them. I don't understand that argument. I don't get it. Like, well, this is what we're being hired to do. I guess if you make can't you make software for like nice companies? Do you only have to do it for the big evil ones? I'm also not in that business. I'm probably oversimplifying it. I don't fucking know. All right, Chat GPT. Dear Billy B. Honest, cognitive rage therapist. I am a therapist and a longtime listener. I'm emailing you regarding the individual using Chat GPT for therapy. You nailed it spot on when it comes to the ethics and a lack of confidentiality when using Chat GPT. not to mention the potential ramifications of using AI as a therapist. My first thought is that AI does not have any professional boundaries to uphold. Thus, the movie Her, Her, comes to mind. She's the only one who understands and talks to me with unconditional love. I guess that's a quote from the movie. How about River Phoenix always picking fucking great projects? There's another person that even if they're in something that you didn't like, they're always great. However, when it comes to cost as a therapist, I 100% agree with this guy. It's expensive. And when you have insurance company dictating what they deem appropriate for a client's care, it becomes an even bigger issue. But removing the human aspect out of therapy is like trying to talk to girls online versus talking to them in person. It's two completely different experiences. Of course, you're going to be more open and honest because there's no fear of rejection or being challenged in a human way. If I was willing to bet, there may be some intrapersonal and interpersonal... What? Intrapersonal and interpersonal difficulties. I don't know what intra means. With this individual. And let's be honest, that's completely fucking normal. That's why you put yourself out there in therapy and learn how to handle your shit. And of course, you're going to fucking fail. That's the whole point, to fail in a safe environment so you're able to learn and grow. It's like playing Madden on your Xbox versus being in the NFL, except in this case, the game you're playing is life. Anyway, I'll shut my dumb ass up. I just thought I'd give you my 2 cents. Go Sigmund Freud yourself. Yeah, and also, I don't know, this is just another area where they're just going to use this AI to undercut human beings with jobs. They're creating this because your job doesn't want to help you out with therapy. They don't want it to cost any fucking money. And then also they want you to do it online so they can listen in on it and take that information of whatever you're talking about and then sell that information as another fucking revenue stream. It's beyond these people are fucking so evil. They're so beyond fucking evil and any level of a decent human being. And that's why they are always getting you to look at other people. And specifically other races of people, other nationalities, people from other countries, people with no power, no money, no way of voting. They just constantly go, and you know why your life's fucked up? It's not because of me, the guy fucking you. It's because of those people over there that have no effect on your life whatsoever. Those people over there who are a lot more like you than I am, they're the reason why you're fucked up. That's what they do. And because people are racist, because they don't have the information they need, because so many people go out into the world, they leave their home and they go out into the world looking for parental figures, they tend to gravitate towards people that look like them. The same race of people. So they sit there, well, that's a white guy. I'm a white guy. He wouldn't lie to me. We're on the same air quote team. And it's fucking tragic. It's fucking tragic. And as far as I know, there's nothing you can do about it because that fucking wheel is moving. It's going downhill. I guess you as an individual can do something to try and stop it. But I will tell you, if you're in college and you're not in the corporate world yet, it'd be nice if young people started going, I don't want to go into that world. It's a dirty business. Look at it the same way as dealing drugs. I know I'm going to do this. People are going to get addicted. They're going to lose their lives. They're going to lose their marriages. They're going to have, bad relationships with their kids. Or I could sell something else, I wish people would start looking at the corporate world like that. We could somehow all come together and just be like, yeah, we're just going to mom and pop stores. Fuck your big box stores. Fuck your lack of benefits. Fuck your wedding in Venice. Fuck all of you guys. But they control the media, so they would somehow spin it in a way that you're actually helping out the Al Qaeda or whatever, whoever's the enemy right now. Here's my prediction. If people keep buying electric cars, the next war we're going to have, big war, is going to be in Africa, because evidently that's where all the materials are that you need to make the batteries or something. And I've heard that China controls most of it, which is a very American move, to control the natural resources in a continent, in a country that you're not even in, you're not even a part of. And then somehow, whatever African nation has the most of that raw material, somehow they're going to be this major threat against the United States. And we're going to be like, well, why don't they like us? Well, they're jealous of your blue jeans and your movies. They don't like you because you're free. These are things that they've said and justified fucking wars. It's unbelievable. And people, they buy into it. These fucking people on the other side of the world I never met who don't like me. Because this guy here who's going to profit off the fact we all go to fucking wars said they don't. Anyway, all right. That is the podcast from my, I'm doing it from my old truck now, so the alarm doesn't go off. This is my new podcast studio. All right. That's it. That's the podcast. Go fuck yourselves. And I will check in on you on Thursday.